Hello everyone, hope you guys are having a great day. It is April 10th and today I'm back with another video. Today I'm going to be talking about yesterday and today's severe weather outbreak. We're going to be going back and looking at past radar for today. And we're going to look at yesterday's reports and just read some of them. And we're also going to talk about what kind of severe weather we could see during the next couple of days. And we're going to talk about what kind of severe weather or where we could see severe weather next week, kind of in the longer range. So let's get started. So let's just start off by saying this is the day one convective outlook. This came out around an hour ago. We have two marginal risks, one from West Virginia down to upstate South Carolina. Right there, Charlotte, North Carolina. I'm pretty sure that's one of the only major cities in that. I know we have more. Yeah, Charlotte, Greensboro, Winston-Salem, Tallahassee, and Gainesville. Tallahassee and Gainesville, those are cities in Florida, and those are in the southern marginal risk, which goes from extreme southeastern Louisiana into central Florida. So that is today. 2% tornado risk, 5% wind, 5% hail. The tornado risk is in the northern marginal risk, which extends from upstate South Carolina to West Virginia. We just have a little bit more shear to support tornadoes. So let's go ahead and start off, or let's go ahead and look at the amount, or what kind of, or I guess, let's go ahead and look at the reports from yesterday. So this is the report map from April 9th. This goes from 12Z today. So 12Z, or 12, no, this goes from 12Z on April 9th, which is 7 a.m. That's Central Time, by the way. So 7 a.m. on April 9th to 7 a.m. this morning. So this actually goes partly until, this goes until April 10th, but only until 7 a.m. So not really, that's why we're going to look at today's storm report map also, but today we can see, or yesterday, we have 144 wind reports, 2 significant wind reports, and those were both located in extreme southern Alabama. We go to the wind reports here. Let's read those 2 significant reports. So let's go all the way down through all these hail reports. Tons of hail yesterday. I skipped the wind. Yeah, here we go. So we'll look for bolded text. Sorry this is taking so long. I'm just trying to find them. Okay, here we go. So Mobile County, Alabama, and this was a measured thunderstorm wind gust of 75 miles per hour. This other one, and in Mobile County, Alabama, we had a private weather station measure a 79 mile per hour thunderstorm wind gust. Those are some significant wind gusts right there. And also another significant thing yesterday was the hail. There is 3-inch diameter hail. I'm pretty sure it was even greater than that in extreme southern Alabama. For right next to the Gulf, that is very significant. You don't see that big of hail that far, in that area of the country. You just don't see that. Normally, you see the greatest hail normally you see the biggest hail kind of in Oklahoma, Texas, where we saw these reports yesterday. We normally see hail there. It was still a pretty significant day, though. We had a lot of large hail, pretty destructive hail in some cases. But this is where we normally see that type of hail. Maybe a little bit further to the east than we normally see. But kind of the plains is where we normally see that size of or very large hail. We sometimes see it in areas like Mississippi, Alabama, but being that far south, that's just, we don't see that a whole lot. That's pretty cool. 272 hail reports yesterday, and 34 of those were large hail reports, which means 2 inches in diameter or greater. Tons of those in Oklahoma and northern Texas, and we had some in Mississippi, northern Louisiana, Alabama, and southern Alabama, mostly southern Alabama, and also some along the Gulf Coast, which is what I was talking about. We go to those ones along the Gulf Coast of Alabama. Those are in Clark County, I'm pretty sure. Clark County, to get tennis ball size hail. Hennig to tennis ball size hail. Very significant sized hail right there. I'm pretty sure those are the Clark counties right along the coast right there. We also had a lot of hail reports across areas of North Carolina, West Virginia, and Virginia, with a few wind reports, but mainly a hail threat there. Pretty significant day for hail yesterday. Probably one of the most significant and widespread hail days I've seen in a while. And we go to today. Oh, also, we did have a pretty strong tornado in Mississippi. So Palmetto, Louisiana. This was one. We had one fatality, 7 injuries. A strong tornado touchdown, destroying several homes. Single wide mobile home that was tied down. Rolled numerous times over. That's a pretty strong tornado. And we had a few in Mississippi, mainly southern Mississippi to the south of Jackson. This one right here, one in Rankin County, that doesn't look that just by the comments for the report, it doesn't seem too significant. This one in Marion County, Mississippi, I guess it's already been rated EF1. But this one, which was in St. Landry County, Louisiana, it was to the southwest of Palmetto. That was the most significant one. We had one fatality with that and 7 injuries, which that's not good. That was my fear last night. It was overnight tornadoes. Yesterday's video, we took a lot of good soundings of nice, or not nice looking, but concerning photographs. And yeah, it didn't end up good. So that's not good. So hopefully we kind of wait on. We've had a lot of overnight tornadoes already this year, and they've been pretty violent. So hopefully that trend won't continue. But we can see today, which is April 10th, we've already seen 56 reports. We had a large hail report in Mississippi. Four 465 knot or greater wind or high wind reports. Those are the ones. Or those are in the Panhandle of Florida. These are from today, so these are different than the ones we read last time. And we had 2 tornado reports, one in the Panhandle of Florida and one in extreme southeastern Georgia by Brunswick. So 2 tornado reports, tornado moving ashore in Panama City, numerous structures damaged, widespread tree and power line damage. We're going to check in on some of these tornado on what these tornadoes actually get rid of. We're going to look at that in tomorrow's video. And in Camden County, Georgia, which is by Brunswick, spotter reported a tornado moving quickly over I-95. So don't really have any. We don't really know if there's we don't really know what kind of damage we have from just this common here with this report in Georgia. But we'll have to see what that tornado gets rid of. But it seems like this first one here might have been a pretty damaging tornado. We had an injury from wind in Santa Rosa County, Florida, as a tree fell in a mobile home, and that's not good. That's an issue with mobile homes. Mobile homes are not a safe place to go during severe storms. Peak wind gusts of 76, 78. These are all sensor measured. Or station measured, 75 right there, and 85 at a fishing pier. Okay. So yeah, very significant day for wind, and we've had potentially a few tornadoes today. So overall, it's been another active day, and let's actually look at the past radar for today. I kind of got this pulled up here, so we're gonna zoom in on the southeast here. Wait, I want to get a smaller sector, and we're going to get counties. So go back to earlier this morning. This was around 5 a.m. Had our very strong line of storms moving to the southeast, moving into the Florida Panhandle and southern Alabama. More strong storms in Louisiana, southern Mississippi. And pretty much as we went throughout the day today, as we went throughout this morning, that line moved to the southeast. The line in Louisiana moved off into the Gulf. This line now in South Florida continued to bring tornadoes, or not tornadoes, but brought maybe a tornado around right here. We can kind of see maybe a little bit of some inflow right there. And very damaging winds with that as it moved to the east. And you can see that it did kind of weaken as it moved into areas like Bainbridge and towards Tallahassee, but it still was a pretty damaging squall line as it moved through areas like Valdosta, continued moving to the east, and then eventually went towards Brunswick, Savannah, Jacksonville, as still a strong line of storms, and it produced its tornado around Brunswick, or in southeastern Georgia right there. Uh, this is really right when it produced, so significant. And then also, we can see this. So we had more reports in areas like upstate South Carolina and North Carolina, mainly a damaging wind threat. So let's zoom up there because that was kind of the secondary area to watch today. Let me try and find a good sector. Here we go. So we can kind of see northern Georgia, upstate South Carolina, and areas of North Carolina. Let's just let this load. All right, here we go. So we can see this is when the line started to get going around 1905, which that's around. That's mid-afternoon. See, our line started to get going right to the east of Atlanta, moving to the east. We had a few weak storms going, or trying to get going around Columbia, and further to the northeast, into areas of North Carolina, sorry. And we can see this line really started to get going as it moved towards Athens, and it continued moving east. Went towards Greenville, Spartanburg. That's when it really started to produce some damaging wind. And yeah, we can see not a beautiful line of storms, but it did have really gusty winds of this. And it kind of, if you guys notice a spin right here, we kind of had a little bit of a meso-low feature. The HRRR kind of started to indicate that this morning, and it was right. We had that, and that kind of helped us get a little bit more damaging winds. And yeah, so that was kind of our second feature. That was kind of our second squall line on the back side of this. So that's kind of interesting also now. Severe weather threat is going to continue tomorrow. Once again, this is day 2. This is our day 2 convective outlook for April 11th, which is Sunday, tomorrow. We have a slight risk for areas of central Florida. That's going to be the main area to watch. Marginal risk going from northern Florida down all the way down to the Keys, and a marginal risk from areas of eastern PA down all the way into northeastern North Carolina. 2% tornado risk in Florida, 15% wind in Florida, and 5% hail. So the slight risk that we have in central Florida is for wind. So that's kind of the main threat the SPC is thinking for tomorrow in Florida. Then day 3, we can see a much calmer look to the convective outlook. This is Monday, start of the week, on April 12th. Really, not really the start of the week. The start of the week is Sunday. For most people in America. Start of the work week, though, is Monday. We can see general thunderstorm going from western Texas into Mississippi. And another general thunderstorm for South Florida along that kind of snowing out front. So, much calmer look to this. And, yeah, we do have no day 4 to 8 outlooks. That's good. Now, this is the GFS here. We're going to talk briefly. We're going to zoom in onto Florida and talk about tomorrow real quick. Because tomorrow looks to be maybe a little bit significant down in Florida. So let's take a couple of soundings. And there's kind of like a simulated reflectivity. We're going to cheat a little bit. But that's fine. Yes, we can see this is 15Z. This is late morning. We have a squall line moving to the southeast, approaching Orlando. Tampa's about to get hit also. And 16Z, this is getting around noon. That's kind of the time frame here. We have a very strong line of storms just going straight through Orlando. Likely, I'm thinking if this, the HRRR has been pretty good at simulated reflectivity. It was really good today. It nailed it, and I'm thinking it could potentially do the same tomorrow. Although it has been a little bit, it's kind of switched around throughout different model runs. So I'll have to see how that kind of plays in. Maybe it'll be a little bit less accurate for tomorrow's event. You can see that it shows a powerful squall line going down through Orlando at around noon. Tampa also at around noon, and continuing further to the southeast. And it makes it down there all the way into South Florida. Hits Miami late afternoon, kind of go almost getting into the evening, and then goes through the Keys after dark. So another severe weather day tomorrow in Florida, or another severe weather day tomorrow, which this one will likely happen in Florida. And we will have a secondary area up to the northeast. I'm not going to really, or not in the northeast, but really in the mid-Atlantic. I'm not really going to look at that. We might look at it briefly. First of all, let's take some soundings with this. So let's take one right here. This is kind of close to Leesburg. Yeah. Not a lot of... This sounding doesn't really... This sounding, no. It doesn't look great for tornadoes now. I'm not saying that way. You can get a tornado out of this sounding. You don't have a lot of wind shear. Wind shear is not that good with this. This would really support a damaging wind threat. But this could support a brief spin-up tornado also. That however doesn't look terrible. This would likely be a marginal risk for tornadoes, so 2% risk from the SPC. Maybe a brief spin-up around the Leesburg area, not out of the question. Take a sounding down by Tampa. Still, let's take one at 15Z. This is West Central Florida. A little bit better of a tornado environment, actually. A little bit more turning with the winds. And plenty of instability. The sounding is slightly contaminated, but not a whole lot. I think it's still slightly usable. And lapse rates aren't that good. I don't think we're going to have a very large hail threat. I think we are going to have a little bit of a hail threat in Florida. And this would definitely still support a brief spin-up tornado. I'm actually thinking that they might put in a 5% risk. The only problem is we don't have a really good storm mode for this. Is likely going to be linear, but we can still easily get a brief spin-up with this, and that could turn violent very quickly, as there was a lot of mobile homes in Central Florida. And a 16Z, which is getting around noon again. Maybe we could have some supercells trying to go off in front of this line. Let's take some soundings. Let's take one right where the HRRR indicates that cell for the south. Yeah, that's not going to be a supercell. If it is, it's not going to be really a organized supercell. It's going to be a very messy one. I don't think this is going to produce a supercell. This sounding here could produce a messy one, maybe. But we have plenty of instability, around 3,000 kph. That's good. Not a lot of turning with the winds here. Only around 11 to 15 knots of shear. 51 SRH. Yeah, that's not going to really support a tornado. Maybe a brief spin up. I'm not thinking that that's going to do much. I don't think that's going to really do a whole lot. Now, as we get later, this is an hour later, we have our line goes straight through Orlando. It's going through Tampa at this time. Take a sounding in West Central Florida. Yeah, once again, not great for tornadoes. Not a lot of turning with the winds. But still a brief spin up, not out of the question. This would likely be a marginal risk, or a 2% risk from the SPC. That's what I would have for that area. Just by looking at the HRRR, though, if I was making an actual convective outlook, which I have done sometimes, which I do those sometimes, they're unofficial. It's kind of just, yeah, they're unofficial. They're not the SPCs. I don't really. The way I make my outlooks, I don't copy off the SPC. I don't look at the SPC at all. I just make it based off of models and what I'm thinking. I mean, what's the point of making a convective outlook if you're just going to copy off the SPC? Now, it's okay if you use them for, like, just kind of looking at what area to look at and stuff like that. But I don't really use them as, like, draw my lines and stuff for my convective outlooks. And, like, pick if I when I'm deciding if I'm gonna upgrade to, like, an enhanced risk, I really don't look at the SPC at all. Yeah, so that was kind of off topic, but take a sounding a little bit further to the south now, way in front of this line, where the HRRR indicates some cells forming. These could be supercellular, not looking really great for supercells. We do have plenty of instability. Problem is we don't have a lot of shear. I'm not thinking those are going to be great supercells at all. Not really much of a tornado risk with that. And then that moves into South Florida. We can take a sounding down there. Yeah, mainly just a severe threat with very steep low-level lapse rates. So that's nice. Mainly just a small hail threat with damaging winds. I think damaging winds could be a potentially significant threat in Central and Southern Florida tomorrow. I'd say the best area for tornadoes right now looks to be mainly this area right there. So that's what I'm thinking for tomorrow. So yeah, now let's go ahead and zoom up to the mid-Atlantic real quick. This is going to be a long video, even though we don't even have that much to talk about, where we have another risk. We can see maybe a few isolated cells go off. That's what the HRRR indicates. That was interesting. This is 00Z. This is 8 p.m. That's Eastern time. Let's take a sounding in PA. Yeah, pretty self-explanatory right there. That's not going to be a supercell. Take a sounding further to the south, though. That's contaminated. Let me get a new one. Stick one right here. In coastal North Carolina. All right, this is interesting. We have a little bit of turning with the winds. Hodo doesn't seem to have a really classic look to it. I don't like that look. That's not really what you want to see when you think of a classic hodograph that would support tornadoes. That's not going to support much of a tornado threat at all. So that's kind of good. And take a sounding maybe in South Carolina. Yeah, mainly just the severe threat with maybe some hail with this sounding also. I'm thinking that there could be a hail threat with that. Any storms that get going in South Carolina, maybe North Carolina also. I'm thinking there's going to be maybe a hail threat again tomorrow. Then we can see storms move to the east. I don't think tomorrow is going to be a big day. I do think we could see some hail and damaging winds. And maybe an isolated brief tornado cannot be ruled out. So now we don't have a whole lot of severe weather after tomorrow. We can see nothing on day 3. So now we're going to go out to the long range and see what we have kind of during the week next week. So if you watched my previous videos from a few days ago and yesterday, I've been talking about how next week looks to be pretty calm for severe weather. Not a lot of severe weather. So this is the pattern we have right now for the whole U.S. We have a low coming together across Wyoming, and we have a really nice baroclinic storm system over the east and Midwest. We have our low right now around the St. Louis area, kind of in Illinois. Pretty much what we have going on right now. Our cold front with some severe weather, and we do have some snow in Idaho and Montana in the higher elevations. So we go out to Monday. Still, see, this is not a very favorable pattern for severe weather. We have our low in northern Michigan. A little bit of moisture on the backside of this. Very unorganized storm system. A little bit of moisture way over here into North Dakota and Minnesota. Maybe a little bit of some light snow showers from maybe areas like Bismarck. Maybe it's over towards Grand Forks. And then GFS also indicates something down in Texas. I want to take a sounding with that because that looks really interesting. So with that, you're going to likely see a hail threat. Hail, and that's going to be the main threat. Maybe Monday, which Monday is day 3. Keep that in mind. I think Monday we could see a marginal risk come out for this area. Maybe for a hail threat. Maybe not exactly that area. I haven't really gone into really analyze it at all, but I think we could see a marginal risk in southern Texas for likely hail. And yeah, so we go to Tuesday. We have another low. This is Tuesday evening. It's kind of a busy pattern across much of the U.S. We have some snow showers across North Dakota, Montana, maybe into northwestern Minnesota. A little bit of warmer air in Minnesota from these lows here. We have some rain showers across the northeast and coming into areas of the Midwest. Rain showers across the south with a front. And you can see we have some snow in the higher elevations going from Colorado over to Nevada, maybe even into higher elevations in California, and very windy in this area also. With our 989 millibar low sitting around kind of to the northwest of Las Vegas. And then Wednesday, that low continues to move further to the east. Thursday is when it starts to get very interesting for the plains and lower elevations also, like Rapid City. You can see some snow coming in the areas like almost like Rapid City, northwestern Nebraska, and this would really be our next significant storm system. Let's take a sounding right here in northwestern Nebraska. Yeah, barely below freezing. We can see the freezing line, or this is the 0 Celsius line right here. Yeah, we're below freezing, so that's good. So that would indicate snow right there. For sure, take a sounding where we have this heavier snow right here. And yeah, still we're barely below freezing right there. That's going to be a close call. 32 degrees for much of that area though. So if the models trend to a little bit maybe of a or the models trend to more warm air, then that means we could just a few degrees could mean the difference of snow to just rain for that area. Maybe even a good amount of snow though if it stays below freezing. We can see some snow lingering across that area for a long time. And even some heavy snow. So that would likely be our next storm system. I think the most active area next week might be the south central U.S. and into the central U.S. That's what I'm thinking. I don't think Dixie is going to be a good area next week. Maybe later. Maybe towards the late part of next week. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, it could start to get a better chance of some severe weather into like areas like the Midwest, into maybe the Mid-Atlantic and the South. But it looks like the South Central U.S. and the Central U.S. could maybe have the best chance of thunderstorms next week. But yeah, that wraps up this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I will be back tomorrow, but yes, goodbye.